What's up, you guys? It's your boy Miguel giving you your daily dose of radiation. In today's video, we'll cover how useful are your X-ray tech markers in the X-ray world, in the field, and how not all X-ray tech markers are created equally. They're different. Okay, so to give you some context, some credentials, I am an X-ray tech night shift. Been doing it for 4 years. And I work a lot of overtime, so I do day shift. So as far as markers, not all markers are created equal, even though for the most part, most of them just have your initial and have like the lead. Like when you shoot it, it'll show up, okay? So certain markers, the lead of your initials will be like tiny. Those occasionally are useful for like preventing it from showing up in anatomy. Like it reduces the chances of your marker showing up in anatomy. It could be good, but if you're shooting it too hot, it could get burnt out. So that's kind of like a good and the bad of those situations. And then you have like the standard average Joe markers that are like yay big. Those kind of will rarely ever get burnt out because they're like larger and more lead. But the only bad part about those, if it's like really close to the anatomy, or if you're doing like a KUB and it's in the way, sometimes it does get in the way, especially with bigger patients. So maybe you'll just have to like reshoot it or just use post-processing markers afterwards to get it done. And then there's some markers that have little tiny marbles, almost like pellets, which those are useful because it kind of lets the rad, most of those are old school, but I see some techs have it. Those are useful because it lets the rad know if the patient is, if the exam was done erect or supine, because the way those little markers are positioned. So those could be handy too. I mean, as far as what markers, it kind of varies on what you do, but most of them are just like lead line, and I mean, there's all various types of designs and stuff. Those, it's kind of a preference, but at the most, they're all lead line, your initials and your stuff like that. It's kind of what you're looking for. They come in different like size, shapes. Some come in clips, some come in circles, whatever, rectangle. But those are kind of the general gist of the variations in how it could be affected by the X-ray. And then also, whatever you use to stick it, depending, some of them are like they'll kind of show up on the X-ray if it's like so thick. I know I have, I think it's called Silly Putty, or no, Sticky Tack. I have like some like super old Sticky Tack I have on my markers, which I've had the same Sticky Tack, which that's amazing. I've had it since, I haven't had to change it since I graduated from X-ray tech school, but it's gotten like old and thick, so it's kind of slowly getting to the point like where gum, if you chew it too long, it becomes like hard, slowly becoming harder, and is slowly showing up more like over my lead. I mean, it's still translucent, but it's still kind of like showing on it. So if that bothers you, or you think it could be effective, you can probably use something else that doesn't show up on it. I've seen people use tape. I've seen people use different things. But yeah, it's been your boy Miguel. See you on the next one.